Coming at you from New Jersey, the place where metal forgot to die, and the capital of misery? It doesn't matter. Welcome to the Here Lies Metal podcast, where we will give you a new band review on a band's new album. Right?
This is the Too Many Notes new music review. Mm-hmm. I am Samantha.
And I'm Maledictus. And I don't even know how to do the intro to the show, but I just keep making up the intro every day.
And today, we are here to discuss the album Through the Gate Eternal by the band Demiser. And Demiser is a black thrash speed metal band from South Carolina. They formed in 2018. And scroll down. We've got some fun names here. Defiler on bass, Demiser the Demiser on bass and vocals.
The band is named after him.
Is there actually two bass players, or is this like incorrect on the archives?
This band is, well, we'll get into that later, but
I think that's got to be incorrect.
Yeah.
Raw Fucking Vomit on drums.
Oh, there's a song about him.
Grave Pisser on guitars and Phallomancer on guitars. What's a Phallomancer? That
is a guy who has romantic passion about phalli.
Or he's casting spells with his penis. That's what I would.
Well, that's true
guess.
too. Yeah, that's also a possible explanation.
That's my guess.
Comment down below, fellow miser.
Take a look at the band real quick. They've got a
let's look at this picture here.
Promo photo.
Yeah, this is you know, we were talking about bands have boring photos. This is not one of them.
It's pretty good. I like the energy coming off of this.
This is good. They've got torches, you know, in a non-Charlottesville kind of way. That's kind of cool. I like these. Yeah, I like this. I got a graveyard or something here, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go back.
That's yeah.
But we're here to talk about Through the Gate Eternal. This is their debut album. They only formed in 2018. So after a couple demos, here we are. It was released independently on Bandcamp, and you can get it on vinyl via Boris Records.
So they moved pretty quickly. They only formed in 2018, and they're here already, and we're reviewing them already in 2021.
It's not so quick.
Holy Enema formed in 1995.
No one cares about your stupid band.
And we didn't review them until 2021.
Let's move on.
So, okay. What do we have here? So now it's time for our rating system, right? So this is our 5-point exclusive rating system for the Here Lies Metal podcast, and a bi-directional classification scale including the categories genre loyalty, listenability, production style, musical complexity, and just plain fun. And please note, either side of the scale doesn't mean good or bad. It's just, you know, it's all subjective.
All right, our first scale, the true scale, we're giving this a 2 for almost true but not quite there. As I said, these guys are black thrash speed metal. That is one word. And it's the sub-genre of extreme metal for modern bands that wish that early Slayer, Venom, and Motorhead were one band and wish to create that sound. So you will hear stuff that I would also consider black thrash speed metal, like Toxic Holocaust and Hellripper. You kind of get those vibes off this record very strongly, as well as some more classic black thrash like Au Noir or Niflheim, perhaps. But I'm not going to give them a 1 for black thrash speed metal, true black thrash speed metal. Just because we take kind of like a turn in the middle of the album and go just very heavily straight into black metal. I'm talking about the songs Raw Fucking Vomit and Unholy Sacrifices.
Mother drummer.
Very black metal. And they're bookending this interlude, Song of Byleth, which is very typical thrash. I wouldn't say it's typical black thrash speed metal. They don't always have interludes.
What's a byleth?
Byleth. Well, first off, I want to say I found this interlude very interesting and haunting.
Yes.
It was. I found it a little bit of an atypical interlude. It was very sad. It was a very sad and like kind of like alt folky quality to it. It's not your typical thrash interlude. And I was inspired to look up Byleth, who is like a cat demon. All right, Byleth is a cat, some kind of cat demon, and he plays a song. He comes with music. So, yeah, we learned a little bit.
I think on the picture he's playing music to the rats, and you're obviously going to kill the rats.
Yeah, after our little journey into black metal, we return back to the black thrash experience. I will say also there's a very healthy dose of speed metal in here, particularly in the guitar. The lead guitar in particular loves the speed metal. But yes, if you like any of the bands I mentioned before, definitely check this out because this is black thrash speed metal. If you want a little bit more black metal in it, check it out even more.
Yeah, a lot of the scales they're using are very black metal-ish, and we'll get into that in a bit. But at first glance, by the second song, I'm like, this is a little Slayery, but
yeah,
like,
there's a few hard Slayer vibes.
Yeah, a little bit, but I'm not going to call them Slayer worship. I'm not calling them that because I keep calling everybody that. When you're in this business long enough, everything starts to sound like Slayer. But we're not going here with this. With the second song, kind of remind me a little bit of Seasons of the Abyss, the way that song comes on. Later good era Slayer, like ending good era Slayer.
I can see. I think that's like at the production end. We can talk about that later.
Yeah, we'll get into that later. But that's what came to mind. Like we said before, they're true. They're definitely true thrash and black metal influence coming together, and there's a lot of blasts on the guitars and drums. Not like sick grindcore blast, but it's kind of blasty, in that kind of way. And and I hear a little deviation from that black metal quest here. They're not like going into other kinds of music here. They're sticking to that. So yeah, the score I think is a good score to keep them at a 2 on true with a V.
All right, our next scale, our terror scale. How terrifying is music? We're only giving it a 3, which would seem kind of like we're not actually in the sonic terror end. We're just kind of in the middle. Why do you think they're not terrifying?
Well, they're relentless. Now this is kind of a balanced scale here, putting it at 3. So on the terror side, the relentless assault of these kind of diminished black metal-y kind of scales. Is that diminished? Comment down below, or is that harmonic minor? Comment down below, music people. I just think I know about music, but I really don't. So those kind of scales played in 30-second note speed, that kind of fast. That makes for like a strong dose of sonic terror to some. For me, anyway. Other people will be like, no, that is orchestration. But to me, it's like, I'm like, that's a bit much. That's hard to follow. So I consider that kind of like sonic terror. But you combine that with sort of like a pseudo growling in his vocals, which is common of black thrash. That's kind of the voice you're supposed to give for that kind of thing. It's not death metal, or it's not black metal growling, but it's it's kind of like it's an audible kind of growling. And that gives you pretty grounded on the side of the sonic terror scale. But on the other hand, the liberal use of solos, and there's a lot of solos. The guitar gets a lot of time on his own. And his solos are very virtuosists.
You think that makes it more listenable?
Well, yeah, that kind of takes away from the sonic terror for me, because it's like we're kind of trying to impress you.
They're not like
solos.
Chaos thrash solos.
Yeah, they're not chaos thrash solos.
They're more heavy metal, speed metal solos.
Yeah, they're not like Slayer. There's some but not a lot. They get kind of careful. They balance out where they put their solos. Some of their solos are kind of black, and some of their solos are kind of like standard almost. So it kind of takes it away from there. So it goes right in the middle. 3.
I agree. But I think what really brings it up for me from being not on the harsher side of metal is they have a very strong emphasis on songwriting. Like they definitely endeavored to make all their songs sound different and to have hooks and catchy elements. And they love song structures.
Yeah.
Like you will have a verse and a chorus and a bridge. And the chorus will come back after the guitar solo.
Black metal's not good at that.
It is it's got that satisfying structure that's like it's like a comfort and a pleasure to listen to.
Standard structure.
So it's a little southern comfort for black thrash fans.
Abacab, I think they call it.
ABA.
Yeah. Like that Phil Collins song.
Yes, but you know what's gonna happen, and so it's kind of like it's pleasing when you hear it happen. It's like
it's like that's standard. Yeah.
There's the bridge.
And music was designed that way to make people like it.
So I think that's what's taking it out of the extreme end. But that said, like we do have a raspy vocal on here, and we have some very mean riffs. We have blast beats, and it's pretty fast. Most of the album's pretty fast. So it can't be in the easy listening side. So I guess we're conflicted on this, really.
His voice sounds like, his voice kind of reminds me of that Persecutor guy from the Desert, doesn't it? A little bit like that, But a lot of people sound like that, though.
Yeah.
That just came to mind, though. I don't know.
Okay. Our next scale, our production scale, Fisher-Price to high production, another middle of the road score, a 3, right in between. What do you think, Maldic?
Well, the production sounds and it sounds very modern and compressed and processed to me, and that's perhaps not like that. Perhaps doesn't make you like higher production because, like we discussed before, it sometimes like sounding old takes a lot of production, and it takes like old equipment which costs a lot of money, so that's production. But it's also very crystal clear and balanced, but not dynamic though. We'll come talking about the compression, you know. Like some people like a super kind of clean sound, but I'm more into
I
the
didn't
warm.
find it that clean.
I did. It's for me. For me.
Like it's a clearer production certainly than it could be, but it's definitely not on the high production side. It's got rough edges. It's very cold sounding to me.
Yeah, it's a little too modern, but in like a cheap way. Right?
Yeah, like it gets a little rough, I think, especially when anytime a blast beat kicks in, they definitely lose a little bit of clarity.
Yeah.
Anytime that happens.
Yeah, there's no
and this is their first album. I'm not really gonna knock them anymore.
Yeah, right. Usually, it's a lot of times their first album is,
we don't know what they have to work with
miss
here.
a lot of those things. Sure, maybe it's like a home studio or something.
But I think for as far as young bands making their first album, this sounds it's good to me.
Yeah.
And as someone who wades through all the shit that comes out.
Is comment down below. Is there a bass? We have a bass player here. What was he called?
Apparently there's two bass players.
Which is weird because I don't hear one.
No, here, click on the album.
Let's see. So bing bang bang bong.
Click on lineup.
And okay, so we have.
Okay, there's one bass.
Okay, yeah, because I don't hear one bass. So how can they be two basses? Is that what
Demiser is only on vocals on the album.
These guys kind of have almost like Ghoul kind of names, but right.
Oh, their names changed on the album.
Oh yeah, look at that. Oh, so.
Well, I noticed that Raw Fucking Vomit is a song title.
And he's not here anymore.
Well, maybe he just changed it because they're like, let's use that as a song title and not your stupid name.
Maybe they fired him. Comment down below.
All right. I think the new one is Infestor on drums.
Isn't he from Ghoul? Isn't he in Ghoul, that guy? I'm pretty sure he's in Ghoul. Anyway. Well,
these guys are from South Carolina.
Yeah, it's a big difference. They're not from cool Oakland. So, not from O-Town. So what else do we got here?
Our note scale?
Note scale.
Where we count the notes. There's quite a few notes on here. We're giving this like maybe a 4, which is almost on the extreme of too many notes. What's causing this?
Okay, so there's a lot of notes played here, really super fast, in most of the riffage, blah, 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 that fast. But most of them are the same notes for the most part. But then as you listen on, you're like, wait a minute, the riffage is like kind of simple-ish, but it's played very skillfully, high velocity, very high velocity. They're not slowing down here really. Besides, that Cat song, they're not really slowing down here, for this album. They're pretty keeping it at 100, like 200 beats or whatever that is. They have a lot of nice, like I said, like there's that song which is kind of like that non-distorted kind of classic 80s thrasher, like virtuoso kind of song, that like all the bands back then used to always kind of have one of those, they're like, look, we could play or something. I don't know what the reason, but that's what I used to always say back then when I'd hear songs back then with a light part in the middle. I'm like, oh, look, we could play everyone.
I don't think the interlude was like that though.
Yeah, it was a little different from your usual polished part, that most thrashy bands would have. But that's what I always laughed at it as I was like, oh, we could play. I was like, as a kid I was like, who cares?
I don't know. The lead guitar on this is playing for the whole album.
Yeah, he is. It's both guitar. Well, they do get the guitarists.
He didn't show off on the interlude. He shows off on the whole album.
Oh, is it one guitar playing the solos or is it two guitars? We don't know.
There's two guitar players.
Oh, so they both playing the solos?
Well,
we don't
that's
know
what's credited on the archives.
We don't know if maybe they're both playing.
We don't
solos,
know. Yeah,
trading off. Yeah,
maybe they both love heavy metal.
Comment down below, guys. They're the guys with the torches. I bet that they got a bit on the picture. That's my
goddamn guitarist always got to be like, I want to hold the torch.
Of course, that's what it is with them. So besides it being so fast, the solos get somewhat melodic in a way. Like they're not like stupid like wham 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 solos. They're like they're kind of they're well thought of and melodic. You kind of hum along to them. You kind of remember the notes in your head, and that's that's when something's melodic. I think
there was effort put.
There's effort, yeah, and they kind of thought them out. So Yeah, so these guys aren't really like your usual music mouth breathers. They kind of know what they're doing, despite like the high speed and intensity of this.
And the dumbass song title.
and the funny kind of loose kind of song titles. We'll get into that. But they study their scales, I think, and they know how to play. And kind of very unpredictable kind of dynamic solos. I thought it really jumped out at me. So very impressive.
All right, leading right into our fun scale. We're giving it like a, I don't know, 1.5 or maybe a 1.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think for fun?
Yeah.
1 for fun.
Yeah. Well, this with the loose song titles like War Fuck Demon Lust and Raw Fucking Vomit, who they must have fired from the band. These guys, can't be accused of having too much fun in the making of Through the Gate Eternal. But and other songs seem, but but then you hear their names, you can't really accuse these guys of being too focused.
No, like on Raw Fucking Vomit when they're like begin the whiskey ritual.
Yeah, that's not a
They're not even taking
thing.
their Satan worship seriously.
Yeah, even like the whiskey ritual, is that a thing? Satan worshippers? Is it like the time for the whiskey ritual? Like what kind of whiskey? You guys whiskey snobs? Or
they're drinking Evan Williams.
Is it Evan Williams? Because I don't like Evan Williams.
I mean, that's not technically whiskey, but
yeah, what is that? Is that?
They're from the South. They're obviously drinking bourbon.
Oh, so Dixie Dave likes Evan Williams. Do you guys prefer that?
No, he drinks Jack.
I saw him with Evan Williams at that show. He had a bottle of Evan Williams, and the camera closed up, and it was Evan Williams. I was like, ugh.
All right. But yes, these guys are definitely having a good time. They're worshiping Satan. I think I read on their Bandcamp they're worshiping Satan from the Bible Belt.
The artwork.
This beautiful artwork.
Let's see. Let's see.
By Lucas Ruggieri.
This is like one of those negative space kind of things. It's like it was all black and they scraped the white into it, I think. However they do that. Am I right?
Like a carving?
Yeah, like you kind of make the white out of the black.
I think they were selling like wood carvings of these.
Yeah, maybe it's a wood carving, right?
Anyway, I'm going to guess this guy is the Demiser. Right here.
Yeah, and
Demiser, the Demiser.
He's got these people around him, and he's like,
some kind of demon. He's got a lot of tails.
They're very impressed with him, though.
He's got a face on his torso.
He's got some sort of scepter.
It might not be a man, because I think he's got tits.
Oh, yeah, look at that. He's got very old lady tits.
But he looks like he has a dick as well.
Oh, yeah, a tongue.
I mean, it's a they. They're everything.
He's like a character from Guar or something. But these people are not scared of him. They're kind of like he's here. The Demiser is here.
Yeah, it's welcoming everybody. He's like, hello.
So
my subjects.
Which one's his face? Is it this his face, or is this his face, or maybe he's two people?
He can be anything.
Yeah, he's
all things.
Above. He's got tentacles.
Anyway, I like this album cover.
Yeah, it's a good album.
It's neat. It's a neat album cover.
Metal kids are doing these days with these album covers. I want like the Ed Repka album covers just go all around. I don't think people could afford those. Those probably cost a lot. That's boring. Those probably cost, but they were like classic though. But they probably cost a lot.
It's done.
Yeah, I mean
I want more demon etchings.
Yeah, this is more not just more down to earth. This is more Ed Repka's kind of like yeah, it's kind of it's played out.
All right. So. In conclusion, I like this album a lot. Oh, you know what I forgot to say on the fun section is that I think the
addendum.
All you need to know about this album you can hear in the first couple seconds of it, where it opens with this like burning noise, and then it just like the opening riff and like vocal line, they come at the same time and then just like rip right into your brain. And
that was Sonic Terror.
We should play that right here.
Yeah,
you can definitely play this music.
Yeah, I can do that because we're good. So yeah, I can do that because obviously if YouTube cuts me for that, come give me a fucking break.
And the moment I heard that, I knew I was all in on this album.
Yeah, that was good. Like the thrash albums back then, they used to always start with kind of a sound effect. They'd be like, some kind of thing, to get you into the album. So it's,
no, but it's when like the riff and the vocal rips in.
Yeah, kind of just. Right,
that's the moment.
Yeah.
They can't just get you from whatever you're listening to in your background. So they've got to set up like a flame sound or something.
Yeah, it was like
I mean, it is also the high point of the album.
Yeah, the high point. It gets you. But they should have saved that. Maybe slow burn. Yeah. But no, they gave it to right away. So maybe you guys.
I don't know how I felt about the black metal sections because those are. I didn't love them as much as the more regular black thrash songs, but that is also partly my taste, and I'm not a huge, just straight black metal person. But I don't know. What did you think?
Yeah, you know, like yeah. What I want like just more dirtier black thrash for me. For me, I want just a more, just, you know, Fisher Price, like total Fisher Price, like, you know.
Total.
Yeah, I want like just, you know, and we've
That's
heard.
hard to do when you've got two guitars.
I know, no, I know. They're you definitely. And I don't like
They
the
have a
whole
full band.
They do. I don't like the whole two guitars thing personally. I don't like it because
But they love guitars.
They do, and
that's part of who they are.
And they're able to work together. Me personally, I could not work with another guitarist.
No one cares about you.
Well, I'm just saying that's how I look at bands, and to me, I'm like, why do you want to do that?
I'm saying like I don't think these guys can go low production because they've got all this instrumentation happening.
Guys just aren't punk rockers.
They're not punk.
Guys just don't have any unity. You're not punk rockers. Okay, you're not from the street. So yeah. So anyway, yeah. So that's pretty good, Demiser. Through the Gate Eternal. Check it out. Okay, we'll put the links for Bandcamp and your old metal archives. So thank you again for watching. Until the next review, this has been Maledictus and
Smith Army.